What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo. This one is Velocity Blue with an MSRP just under $39,000. Big shout out to Mooresville Ford for providing this new truck for today's video. Check out the link to their website, links down below. Let's get right into the Sporty mini truck. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo, you're going to find the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, cranking out 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. This is paired to a 7-speed automatic transmission. All-wheel drive is also standard. There's going to be a sport-tuned suspension with a lower ride height than factory. And then max towing capacity is 4,000 pounds with max payload at 1,500 pounds. This also has curb weight at 3,900 pounds. Running on a 16.5 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 21 miles per hour in the city with 30 out on the highway. The overall length is 199.7 inches with a wheelbase at 121.1. Width is 77.9 and height is 67 inches. Moving on to the styling with the Ford Maverick Lobo. As you can tell, this is more of a street-focused truck with a very sporty touch to it. You got these really nice LED headlights that even say Maverick in them. You're gonna see the halogen bulb, then the LED projector light, and then you can see that nice daytime running light. For the upper grille, you have these really cool looking vertical slots finished in gloss black. You have the gloss black Ford logo, and then there are functional grille shutters down below that. Super sleek style for sure. Lots of body colored throughout the front end, just a little bit of black trim down below. There's gonna be fog lights down here, as well as more openings to provide cooling to the intercooler, along with a safety sensor. So it definitely has a very cool look up front. I just like how clean that looks. You have some sharp body lines throughout that hood as well, leading to the windshield. And then as we make our way to the side, you're gonna see these really cool 19-inch wheels. They're really cool looking dish style with just these spokes on the outer rim. You also have a 225/55 tire on them, and then some sharp body lines throughout that front fender. You're gonna get the Lobo logo up here, and then we're gonna get body colored on the mirror cap with a little bit more of that plastic trim. You can see body colored door handles, black material throughout all the windows, and then up above, you're gonna see a gloss black roof with a sunroof up above. Taking a look at the side profile, of course, what you're expecting from the Maverick in general with more of that unibody style where the bed and the cab are kind of all connected. These wheels really do add a lot of style to it. They look super sleek with just the way this body is designed. You're gonna get this plastic trim making its way up that rear window and covering the side of the bed. Sleek body lines throughout it as well. And then in back, a nice design for the red housings on these taillights. You're gonna see Maverick stamped into the tailgate, blacked out Ford logo with a backup camera, release handle up there, and then a body colored rear bumper. All your trailer hitch connections right in the center, parking sensors as well, and just a really sleek look. It definitely looks like a street truck. So it has a really cool style all around. Definitely can't complain, especially in this color with all the black accents. Taking a look at the key fob, you got the Ford logo on the one side, and then just lock, unlock, panic on the other. If I go ahead and lock the truck, you can just grab the door handle, it automatically unlocks, and we can check out this interior. You're also gonna see some yellow and blue accents throughout the interior, which is a pretty cool touch. And then on the door panel, it's actually finished off in a blue color. You have a textured plastic up above, a lock, unlock, release handle, and then all of your basic controls down below. There's some blue color on this grab handle with some textures up here, and then more of a grayish blue and more gray accents throughout that door panel. For the seat itself, we have power controls on the side, black seat materials with this cool stitching design with the two-tone color. There's these blue speckles throughout the seats as well. Nice bolsters on the back side. Lobo is written up there as well, and then we have more of the contrast stitching throughout the headrest. You're going to get a 3-spoke design on the steering wheel with more of this two-tone color accent for the stitching, and we have some silver trim as well. And then now inside the 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo, keep my foot on the brake and go ahead and fire it up. Okay, your 2 screens that are going to turn on. For the center gauge cluster, we have that nice screen right in the center, and then we can exit out of there, and you're going to see some different things that are going to pop up. So if I start scrolling up and down, you can go through some trip information. We also have the trip to, as well as fuel economy, and then I can tap more icons and see all sorts of different information. So a lot of the stuff you're going to be used to seeing in any modern Ford. So pretty simple screen overall, maintenance information, a couple other basics. For the drive mode, I can toggle that on the steering wheel, and you're going to get a couple that are going to pop up for on-road driving as well as some towing modes. So nice to see that as well. Then we even have the Lobo mode, which will be fun to check out. You got the Ford badge on the center, and then cruise control and audio on the left side. These are all the screen controls, and then we have some more controls right here for the phone integrations. We have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, stalk on the right side for windshield wipers, stalk on the left side for the turn signals. And then down below all that, you're gonna see headlight controls, the dome light for the bed, interior dimming, and then some of this blue and gray accent, blue accent on the air vent there, and then some more trim throughout the top here. We have a storage cubby as well, some exposed bolts just to give it a rugged design, more of this blue accent throughout the whole dashboard. And then the screen in the center, nice design overall. Again, very similar to what you're gonna be used to seeing on Fords. We have the audio, the phone. We can go into settings, see a couple things that are gonna pop up, swiping over, and then on this right side, you can also swipe here and get a couple different things. Some of these you can then swipe inside and it will flip-flop basically. Going back to home, we have features we can go into. A couple things are gonna pop up and you still have the same design over on this right side. And then back into home, we have apps as well, and you're gonna get CarPlay as well as the Android Auto. Down below, we're gonna see fixed information for the climate controls. We have our fan speed we can easily toggle. Temperature is gonna be over on this side, and then right in the center, we have different zones, air conditioning, recirc, and things like that. So pretty simple overall. If I go into reverse, you have a nice backup camera, top-down view for the parking sensors, and then we can configure this just a little bit. Then we can go back into park. Underneath that, we have two more air vents with more of that blue accent, volume control, a couple of shortcuts as well, screen on and off. You can just toggle that for a more simplified view. And then down below, we have the engine start-stop button, and then we have a couple plugs. There's gonna be hidden storage all throughout the bottom here, cup holders, front and rear of this section. Then we have that drive select right here with a manual mode, electronic park and brake, engine start-stop, traction control, and then a little slot. You have more storage behind that, more of that color contrast stitching on this padded armrest, and then a decent amount of space down below. For the glove box, opening that up, nice sized bucket, and then one last look at the interior, very similar to the Maverick in general, and then just a couple extra colors for the Lobo edition. So nice look overall. The seats are definitely cool with the two-tone stitching. And then up above, you're gonna see a nice basic sunroof. We have that control, the dome lights, and then a simple basic mirror. And then moving on to the rear seat space, I can just grab the door handle and open it up. The door panel's finished off just like we saw up front with this bluish colored plastic, the gray, and you have that bright blue on that handle. Got storage down below. Seats have the same two-tone stitching, the smooth black synthetic leather style material. Headrests have the stitching as well, and then even in the center you have a middle headrest and an area for cup holders as well as an armrest. Only amenities are going to be a couple plugs right in the center, and then you're going to have storage space behind both of these front seats. And then you can grab the strap in the front and we can lift this whole seat cushion up, and underneath you're going to get a nice amount of hidden storage space, two large buckets as well to make this a very practical small truck. And then back here we have a strap you can pull, and then the entire backrest is even going to fold forward. Not really too much storage here, but we have, looks like a tire changing kit here. So good spot to put a couple things back. So hopping into the back seat with the Ford Maverick Lobo. So obviously this is a very small truck. Sitting here at 5'11", honestly I do fit. I have really good headroom, I will say. Driver's seat at my height, my knees are kind of tucked away in this little cutout. The seat itself is pretty flat and pretty straight up, but honestly it's not the worst. A car seat would be pretty tight in here. You're gonna have to move that front seat up quite a lot. But I mean, in a pinch to put 3 people back here, not the worst. Probably fine for kids, more useful for stuff though in general. And then lastly, taking a look at the bed space, we can just grab this handle, open it up. No soft close or anything, so we just gotta gently open it. But you're gonna get some tie hooks all around it as well. Just have that painted bed in here, a little storage area on the right side, and you can add some accessories to it as well. So pretty useful bed for a small truck. We can easily fit 2 dirt bikes in here, so it's pretty nice. Doesn't weigh all too much, just lifting that up, and we can easily close it up. So setting off now in the Maverick Lobo. So I'm in the Lobo mode, it says track use only. So this is kind of the sporty most designed for the drive select. So pretty unique to kind of have like a mini truck that has this sporty aspect to it. If we put the car back into eco mode and just kind of drive it normally, take it out of manual mode, it's a Maverick as you'd expect. It's pretty smooth on the road. You're gonna hear a little bit of the wind noise, and you can tell it's a very small truck, so obviously it might take a little bit getting comfortable in it. You can tell it's very different than if you're in a Ranger or an F-150. So it's definitely on the small side. It kind of drives more like a Bronco Sport, I would say, just kind of that aspect. But overall, seats are pretty comfortable, a good view around the front, mirrors all do a great job. Visibility, pretty easy to see around a vehicle like this, really no crazy blind spots or anything. Eco mode is pretty conservative with throttle. We can go into normal mode, it makes it a little bit more snappy. And I will say though, when you go into at least sport mode, the throttle and everything does sharpen up quite a lot, and the turbo engine is decently responsive. So it's a pretty cool blend of a lot for a little truck like this. And being so small, it's really maneuverable. Pretty zippy in slow speeds. We'll go back to the Lobo mode, which is funny, it's a rhyming word, but in this mode, you know, it's definitely not a fast vehicle at all. There's a lot of power, like it has pretty good numbers, but it doesn't really feel that fast, and it definitely sounds like you're whining out the engine a lot. So not exactly the most like fast performance focused. It's no Raptor basically, but I will say it is pretty snappy, and the steering is what's kind of surprised me a lot. I did a quicker road earlier, but it actually handles pretty decent for being a pickup truck at the end of the day. So I like that characteristic to the way this truck handles. The sport tuned suspension actually makes a difference, and when you're driving it, you know, you can tell it's kind of fun to just toss it around some of the turns. It's a very easy truck to drive. So it's a fun aspect that it has, you know, kind of snappy turning, like even just doing that or something, it's a pretty planted feeling truck. So I could see this being something that, you know, you want a truck for the capabilities. Obviously a mini truck, this isn't a full size, anything like that. But you want something that has the capabilities of that bed storage space, but you also want something that's fun to zip around town, take a couple turns if you got a couple like back roads in your area. That's kind of where this truck sits. So my honest thoughts now with the Maverick Lobo, giving it a little bit more throttle. While it's not fast, it's not slow either. It's pretty zippy, it's pretty peppy, and the transmission responds pretty nicely when you hit the paddle shifter. So it's actually fun to drive it in the manual mode, just taking over that control. You can even hear the turbo blow off sound a little bit, so that is a nice touch. But I feel like the Maverick is kind of that sweet spot of, it's not that expensive of a truck, especially in today's market, and it gives you a lot of use. You know, we had one as a press car. We took a dirt bike in, put both bikes in the back, all our gear, food for the day and everything, and it worked pretty well. With the all-wheel drive system, it is pretty capable to take it anywhere. This one not being a off-road focused truck, obviously this is more street focused, so you're probably not gonna buy this to do like camping trips or anything like that. But this is a truck that you can still buy and still do stuff like that. I mean, the all-wheel drive is going to be very capable. But specifically for this trim level, you have the little bit sharper transmission, the sport tuned suspension and stuff. It gives it a fun street driving ability. And most people, 99% of the time, you're going to be on the street. So this is kind of that good sweet spot to where it does give you a fun factor for the day-to-day drive. It's got good gas mileage, so it'll be a pretty good commuter car, something to use for the day-to-day. But given it does have the pickup truck space, you know, you can still use this for recreation, hauling stuff, or anything like that. So it's a very well-rounded vehicle, and the Lobo just kind of gives you an extra fun factor for the street. If you want to play with it a little bit, you know, floor it a bit more, take some turns a little bit harder, it has that to where it's fun. So yeah, it's definitely something to put on the list. You know, again, it's not like a Raptor version, it's not that high performance, but it has a fun factor to it to where, I mean, it's a cool little truck, honestly, at the end of the day. It's fun to zip around. Looks good, too. I think it really does look very stylish. But there you guys go. That is the 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo, the sporty mini truck, basically. Pretty cool option. Big shout out to Mooresville Ford for providing this truck for today's video. Check out the link to their website linked below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.